this new generation is the cupcake generation. They're soft.
They're so worried about mental health, but yet they have all the comforts of the world. Then what are they worried about mental health for? We were always taught that they is many people. He and she is a singular person. You're such a politician. You're full of shit.
1, 2, 3, yeah!
Hi, I'm Allan.
And I'm Bobby.
And now you're watching Call Us Daddy. All right, today we're going to talk about Gen Z. But before we get there, Bobby, I just want to ask you, do you feel old? Do you feel like ancient?
No, I don't feel old. I feel pretty young. So with that said, what's your perception of Gen Z?
What is my perception of Gen Z? I would say, they're very digitally savvy, very in tune with the world because of their access to social media. I would say also they can be more sensitive than probably the older generations just because of their access to information. And that in turn makes them, I think, sometimes more, prone to being affected with what's around them. How about for you, Bobby? I mean, Daddy.
I think Gen Z...
Don't think too hard, but yeah.
I'm not going to think too hard. I think they have a lot of access to information, but they think they know more about the world because of that information than actually they do, because they don't experience it, they read about it, or they watch it. They consume content within a few seconds, and they create an opinion that may be very light on substance because of those fewer seconds. Where I feel like as we get older, as we live more life, we experience more things in a much more longer, drawn, thought out way, and our thought process will change. But I think they're very quick to assume that they know, but maybe don't know as much. But I do give them credit for understanding how to keep things concise, keep things very bite-sized, and
just like you right now, right?
Cut it exactly like you like right now. I am Gen Z'd out right now because our producer's like,
shut up and get to the point.
And I feel like they're so worried about mental health, but yet they have all the comforts of the world. Then what are they worried about mental health for? Like, seriously. Like, we are the last generation to actually not have digital and then have a digital world.
Yeah. We're the bridge.
We're the bridge. All they know is the digital world, yet they're more stressed.
Yeah.
You try doing a research paper with fucking encyclopedias and the Dewey Decimal System in the library and spending 10 hours in the library looking at one paragraph. Then talk stress. You can Google and figure out what you want within 2 seconds.
I think it's not easy being Gen Z. I think it's a double-edged sword to have access to all this information, wondering at what age I should give my child a phone. What age do I allow them access, having, pornography at the tips of my fingertip, not knowing that I'm looking at it and stuff though too. It's crazy. I'm watching my kids grow up and they're able to, access all this information. Back then, I'm in high school, you're just dying to see a naked girl, on a movie. Here it's like they're 3 years old looking at this stuff.
Go to the Playboy magazine at the grocery store. That's how I went to see it.
Shit, I could never reach that high like you. But you know what I'm saying, right? You have so much, because they're inundated with so much information and so much access, that creates this stress for them though too. Hence this mental health issue is direct byproduct of them having so much information due to the advancements in technology. So if you ask me, we aspire to keep things simple, but the world makes it complicated. Yeah, I think you mentioned earlier about mental health. I think for yourself, do you think you're a sound mental health person? Do you think you're quite healthy mentally? Or are you just mental?
I'm mental. No, I'm pretty good. We all have our moments.
You're just pretty.
I'm just pretty. That's it.
Pretty daddy.
That's it. I know we all have our moments.
Have you ever had a moment where you felt like you just don't get these people, these Zers, these Gen Zers, Bobby Tonelli?
Yes, Alan, there was. With the pronouns. I didn't get it.
I still don't get those.
I don't get
all.
those things,
I don't
man.
get it,
I really don't get those. I really don't get those. We were always taught that they is many people. He and she is a singular person. I don't know. I mean, I feel that's what I don't get. I understand the rest of it, but I feel that
binary,
okay, this may come off the wrong way. We all have different thought processes in our minds at any point in time, right? And there are times where we're going to feel like we don't fit into the society, we don't fit into the world. Maybe we don't feel as masculine as other men, or we don't feel as feminine as other women. But it doesn't mean that now you have to create a whole new pronoun system for that. That's part of life. And part of life is questioning yourself and learning about yourself and growing. And I think this quick judgment factor, we have to now label this person this and label this person that, and you have to be this, and you have to be that to fit in. You don't have to. Part of life is understanding that we all have various different levels of understanding about ourselves as we grow up. But I feel like Gen Z nowadays wants to categorize everybody into something. And if you don't understand that category, you are now either racist, or you're a bigot, or you're insensitive. And they're quick to throw out these words versus actually realizing that not everybody's going to see the world the same way.
You just ain't woke, dude.
But honestly, it's just to kind of wrap that all up, it's just that everybody's going to have a different opinion, and that's okay. And that's part of life. So that's my thought. What about you?
I would have to agree with you. I don't really understand this whole pronoun situation. You know, I'm not a very smart man, and I just rather just keep things very simple. But again, I also respect that we live in a different age and time where, again, we didn't have all this access information. Even this whole concept of mental health that we were talking about earlier too. I would never say I don't understand that, you know, but there was a time where you wouldn't like just proclaim to everyone that you are under duress or stress and you're, you know, affected mentally. Back then we just, you know, just knuckled down and just manned up, you know, or womaned up or whatever.
But do you think it's a good thing that we do that now? Do you think it's a good thing that people actually talk about that? Or do you think we should go back to the way it was and be like, yeah, man, fuck it, let's just deal with it?
I think I do see good and I also see bad. I think it's good that we talk about it, but I think it gets talked about too much. It gets abused. People use it as a crutch, you know, because it's so accepted now, mental health in this generation, that generation, you know, especially with the younger generation. I don't see us, you know, really talking about, my mental health. I mean, physically I feel well, but mentally I don't feel so well right now. It's just not something that I would say or do, you know. I'm like, we're old school. We come from the school of hard knocks, you know, like if I'm not feeling well, I'll find a way to rectify it myself.
So speaking of Gen Z, let's talk about TikTok trends.
Okay.
Obviously you're a TikTok, you know, guru yourself.
I wouldn't say I'm a guru, but yeah.
You were live streaming on TikTok doing all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
I saw you doing that.
Uh-huh.
So what do you
Thanks
think?
for your support.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I didn't buy anything, but I watched you. But what do you think about dancing on TikTok?
Oh, gosh, good question.
Did you ever dance for TikTok?
I never did the choreographed dances, you know, but I've seen it and I don't really get it, but I can see why people do it. You don't do something unless you're able to elicit or garner a reaction or garner any affirmation from the outside world, from your audience, from your followers. In a way, I think it's kind of sad, you know, that our society's been reduced to people doing this just for the sake of likes, for the sake of, you know, going viral and everything too. But then we're not from that generation. I see this. There is obviously some entertainment value in it. There's a lot. If you find someone that's doing you know, you have a young girl doing a cute little dance, goes viral, gets a lot of follows, and that in itself goes viral, then other people want to do it too. For example, let's say, you know, in the Olympics, right, with that Australian Reagan, the rapper girl, right? The breakdancing girl. Yeah, but that's gone completely viral, right?
Yeah.
It's hilarious, you know, I think with social media, the way that's just kind of like just completely just blown up the way it has.
Right.
You know, whether it's TikTok or watching these things, these mundane, senseless, just useless things, and poor girl is just getting completely just, you know, just bombarded with hate, you know, and just contempt and just, I feel bad for her, but again, I mean, I wouldn't say it was deserving, but it was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is the power of social media. And from doing something that seems so innocent, not her I'm saying now, but just these TikTok dances, I don't really get it, but I understand why they do it. It's not something that I think because we didn't grow up with it, it's not something that we want to do. But it's also very polarizing because you have the kids that want to do it. Then you have like my kids or other kids that age that are like, this ain't for me though too. It's like two completely different parties right there. I have a question for you, Bobby. Yeah.
What's up?
Have you ever worked with any Gen Z?
Yes.
Are they easy or difficult to work with?
Depends on the individual. Some are.
If they call you daddy, do you find that?
No, nobody calls me daddy.
Not yet, okay? You heard that?
After 5 episodes, Allan, nobody's called me daddy.
Did you see like how sad he looked right there? No one's calling him daddy.
I think it depends on the background more than anything. I don't want to just label as Gen Z because everybody's brought up differently. Some people are hard workers and some people just need a break all the time. You ask them to do you ask them to do one thing or two things, they like, I need a break, I can't handle it. And then you've got to like slow the work process down. You got to slow the whole, just the project down, just to make someone feel like they've caught up. But yet they're in the era of information where so much information is being thrown at them. So it's a bit of a hypocrisy, if I may call it that, where you can take all this information and watch all these videos at one go on TikTok, but yet you need time to take a break on a project that only takes one thought process. Bit odd for me. What do you think?
I would say in general, there isn't any particular moment where it's been difficult, but as a father, as a daddy though too, I look at my own children and I look at the way I raise them versus the way our parents raised us. I mean, I joke around, but I actually mean it though too when I say this new generation is the cupcake generation. They're soft, they're really, really soft. That's why you have all this mental health. They're very sensitive. Obviously they've been influenced by a lot of information, a lot of media, a lot of online content. And so I remember when my kids were young, I'd maybe raise my voice. I would raise my voice and scold them or something because they did something wrong. And they would say, they'd break down, stop doing that, you're hurting my feelings, I was like, you're lucky, I've never touched you once, They never got the belt? Never got the belt.
You got the belt, right?
I got the belt.
I got the belt too, man.
We got it all,
Yeah.
And so each generation, I think with the advancement in technology, we become easier and even more lenient and even more, I think, softer on these kids. And I'm not sure, are we doing a disservice to them too? And this, what we see now in society, is just an extension of the comforts of technology, making the world seemingly better, but actually making it probably a less of a better place. So, Bobby, I got a question. Now that we've talked all this bit about Gen Z, what facet or aspect about them do you admire? Is there anything at all?
No, I think going back to what I said in the very beginning of this podcast is that I admire their way of creating content that is informative, bite-sized information, and very compact. They understand it. They know how to get rid of the fluff. Where we've been rambling on, a Gen Z podcaster probably would have gone through 5
yourself.
Yeah. A Gen Z podcast would have been done with 5 episodes by the time we're done with this one episode. I mean, they just know how to get to the point, which I do admire that. And that's something that I find a challenge even in my own workflow on social media content, all that stuff, is actually how to bring it down, make it concise. Whereas with them, they know how to do it. What about you?
I think on that note, I would love to hear all your opinions. Obviously, we're not your
You're
typical...
such a politician. You're full of shit. Give us, what do you think's good about them?
I'm going to get there, okay? I'm going to get there. Just let me finish, Pump the brakes, yo. I gave you a chance to talk. I'm just saying, I'm curious. I think as us being probably more the elder statesmen, older so-called podcasters, how's our style compared to, let's say, your young Gen Z podcaster? Like, do we talk too much? Please leave it in the comment section. But getting back to the question now, I would say, what do I admire about Gen Z? Again, yeah, I just love, they're so tech savvy, they're so intuitive, they're so in tune. They know a lot about everything, but not a lot about that much too. But they have so much, they know a lot through the internet, and I think that I do admire. I haven't really worked with any of that closely, except maybe, even on set, I'm trying to think how many Gen Zs I work with and stuff though too. But when it comes to, let's say, anything technology based, because they've had so much experience, that I'll admire.
All right, Allan. Well, that was insightful once again. Thank you for the wise, eloquent words that you once bestowed upon us.
So
about
sarcastic,
Gen Z.
dude.
He's very much the politician here today. The Gen Z politician from Gen X. Are you Gen X? Man, you're beyond.
I'm Gen X, dude. You're what, Gen N?
I'm not loving what I am right now. I'm too tired to figure that one out. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe, follow us. Let us know in the comment section below. Are we nailing Gen Z? Are we off? Any insights? We'd love to hear from you with that, guys. Thanks again, and you are watching
Call us Daddy.